Good morning, students. As in our previous video, we have discussed about union executive and legislature. So today we will discuss about the last organ of the government, that is judiciary. When we have a glance at the newspaper, we can have a glimpse of the range of the works done by the courts in this country. But can you ever think why we need these courts? As you know that in India we have rule of law. This means that laws apply equally to all persons and that a certain set of fixed procedures need to be followed when a law is violated. To enforce this rule of law, we have a judicial system that consists of the mechanism of courts that a citizen can approach when a law is violated. As an organ of the state, the judiciary plays a crucial role in the functioning of India's democracy, and it can play this role only because it is independent. When we see that in India we have rule of law, we can say all people are equal before law, and if two persons commits the same crime and both were different on the basis of their social and political background, then there will be no discrimination in the sentence process. There will be no discrimination in the punishment also. That is rule of law. Basically, when we discuss judiciary, at first we will discuss independence of judiciary. The second is appointment and removal process of judges. The third is structure of judiciary. After it, we will see a difference between civil law and criminal law. Later on, we will discuss about role and powers of judiciary. And after it, we will discuss a very important question, that is, does everyone have access to the courts? At first, we will discuss independence of judiciary. After it, we will discuss other terms. What does an independent judiciary means? What do you mean by independent judiciary? Imagine a situation in which a powerful politician has encroached on land belonging to your family. Within the judicial system, the politician has the power to appoint and dismiss a judge from his office. When we take this case in the court, the judge is clearly partial to politician, and the control that the politician holds over the judge does not allow for the judge to take an independent decision. This lack of independence would force the judge to make all the judgments in favor of the politician. Although we often hear of rich and powerful people in India trying to influence the judicial process, the Indian constitution protects against this kind of situation by providing for the independence of the judiciary. So when we discuss the independence of judiciary, we can discuss it in the following forms. How? The one aspect of independence of judiciary is separation of power. The second is removal process is very difficult.
And allowances can't be reduced during his tenure. At first, we will discuss the separation of power. In India, as we know, the power is divided into three organs. The power of government is divided into three organs: legislature, executive, and the third is judiciary.
It means all the organs of government enjoy their power separately. Legislature and executive cannot interfere in the work of judiciary, as the courts are not under the government and do not act on the behalf of government. Or we can say both the other organs of government, whether it is legislature or executive, they cannot interfere in the decisions of judiciary. They cannot interfere in the proceedings of the judiciary, and in fact, no minister can affect the decisions of judiciary. This is the concept of power. This is the concept of separation of power, which was popularized by Montesquieu, and we can say which was introduced by Montesquieu in his book The Spirit of Laws. The second is, it is true that the judges of Supreme Court and High Court are appointed by the President, but once they are appointed, it is very difficult to remove them from their post. We will discuss the removal process of Chief Justice and other judges of Supreme Court and High Court later on in this video. The process which is followed in the removal of any judge from his post, this is termed as impeachment process. Okay, and it is a very difficult process, so it is not an easy thing. It is not an easy going to remove any judge if he is not giving decision in the favor of a particular minister. The third is salaries and allowances. Salaries and allowances of judges cannot be reduced when they are in service on the behalf of their behavior and on the behalf of their decisions also. If it is so, then in this situation, our cabinet ministers, not only cabinet minister, we can say our ministers and politicians will affect our judicial system directly. So it is said that salaries and allowances cannot be reduced during the tenure of that particular judge. That's why they are not peer, they don't have the peer of any kind of reduction in their salary and allowances, and because of this they can give their decisions independently. They can give their decisions freely. Now we will see. And the fourth one is like no critical comment. It means there can be no critical comment on the working of the judges by the parliament or any other body. It is said that judiciary works as a watchdog on the implementation of laws. How can we say? If judiciary feels that the rules of law is not applied by government and any other government and non-governmental agency, then judiciary can put up the questions to concerned organization and can punish them for their contempt. In India, Supreme Court is considered the apex court because of situating at the top level of judicial structure. At first, we will discuss the appointment and removal power of the judges, and after it, we will see the structure of judicial system
and removal process of the judges and Chief Justice of Supreme Court. At first, we will see appointment process. Appointment process, we will discuss about qualification, oath and term, salary. At first, we will see qualification. One must be the citizen of India. The second is he must have been a judge of a high court. For 5 years. And the third one is he must have served as an advocate in a high court at least 10 years. The second is establishment.
Supreme Court was established on 26 January 1950 and it is situated in Delhi. Number of judges is 1 plus 25. It means total 26 judges are in Supreme Court. One is Chief Justice of Supreme Court, whereas 25 are other judges. Appointment. Chief Justice is appointed by President of India. Whereas other judges are appointed by the President of India with the consultancy of Chief Justice of Supreme Court. After it, we will see oath and term. Oath has been taken in the presence of Supreme Court, in the presence of the President of India, or if the President is not present, then, or we can say in the absence of President, the same person appointed by the President. It may be Prime Minister, it may be Cabinet Minister, and it may be any Minister, Attorney General of India, and Election Commissioner also. And the tenure of President is, the tenure of judges, a judge of Supreme Court holds the office till the age of 65 years, whereas a judge of High Court holds the office till the age of 62 years. Now we will see salary. Chief Justice of High Court, Chief Justice of Supreme Court gets 1 lakh rupees per month, whereas other judges of Supreme Court get 90,000. Whereas Chief Justice of High Court gets 90,000 per month and other judges of High Court get 80,000 per month. And the second thing, salaries cannot be reduced, but at the time of financial emergency this can be done. It means at the time of financial emergency salaries can be reduced, and after retirement they cannot practice in any court of law. Now we will see removal process. The process which is followed in the removal of president is known as impeachment process. And this process is not only followed for the judges of High Court and Supreme Court. As I told you earlier in my earlier videos, this process is also followed for President, Governor also. At first we will see impeachment process. President can be impeached for the violation of Constitution and misbehavior also. And this process may be started in either of the house by a notice that has to be signed by 1/4 member by 1/4 of total members. It means if this kind of impeachment process is proposed in Rajya Sabha, then this proposal should be signed by 1/4 members of Rajya Sabha. It means 250 divided by 4, 62.5. Of course, 0.5 cannot be taken. That's why it should be signed by minimum 63 members. After it, the notice is sent to that judge to prove himself innocent, and after 14 days, it is taken up for consideration. A resolution must be passed by majority in both the houses and 2/3 majority at the time of joint sitting of parliament. Then it is sent to president for signing up. During this process, the judge has the right to defend himself, and after the proposal has been completed, after the process has been completed and the president has signed the letter, then he had to that judge of the Supreme Court has to leave his post, and he has to address his resignation to the president for 14 days. After 14 days, it is taken up for consideration and it should be passed by majority in both the houses and by 2/3 majority at the time of joint session. And after it is sent to president for signing it. During this process, the judge can defend himself. If a judge resigns, then he had to address his resignation to president. So judges cannot be removed directly. In our next video, we will discuss about jurisdiction or the powers which are enjoyed by judiciary. And after it, we will see the structure of judiciary, difference between civil law and criminal law, law and power of judiciary also, role of judiciary. And later on we will discuss does everyone access to the court or not.